All right, good day, everybody. So this is the first class that we're gonna have for the Global Marketing Management course. I'm your instructor, Waleed. Maybe some of you have had me before, maybe some of you haven't, maybe I'm new to you guys. So if I'm new to you guys, then nice to meet you. And if I know you guys already, then nice to meet you again. Alrighty, so let's move forward. What are we going to be talking about in this class? Basically, we're going to be talking about global marketing concepts, just basics of like the global marketing concepts, and explores current issues in global marketing. That's just the basics of what we're going to be studying in this lecture. So the first thing we talk about is a market product growth matrix. Okay, so uh, basically everything over here has the definitions. What I'm going to try to do for you guys is try to explain it more in detail. So a marketing tool that outlines different strategies that companies can use in order to increase market share or introduce a new product. Okay, so it's basically a tool that if you're trying to increase your sales, increase your awareness, increase your visibility in the marketplace, this is what you kind of use, right? If you're trying to introduce a new product, right, you use a market product growth matrix. So it's a strategy that companies use. The uses depends on whether a company or product is already present in the marketplace. Okay, there's four main strategies: market penetration, product development, market development, and diversification. We're going to get into that right just now. So the four main strategies of market product growth matrix. Okay, so like I said before, these are the four. So strategy one, market penetration. What is market penetration? So it's a measure of how much a product or service is being used by customers compared to the total estimated market for that product or service. So for example, if you use let's just say you're looking at a car, okay? If you look at a Honda Civic versus a Bugatti, right? What's the market penetration of a Honda Civic versus a Bugatti? Obviously, Honda Civic, there is a lot more in the market, right? Now, if you do Honda Civic versus a Hyundai Elantra, right, you're also going to see that there's also a lot of Elantras, but there's a lot more market share for Honda Civics and Toyota Corollas. So market penetration can also be used in developing strategies employed to increase the market share of a particular product or service, right? Market penetration can be used to determine the size of the potential market. So if the total market is large, new entrants to the industry might be encouraged that they can gain market share or percentage of the total number of potential customers in the industry. So basically, what market penetration is talking about is, let's say you get into a business or industry. You're trying to get into an industry, let's say web design, right? Web development. The amount of people in the world that can do web development is vast. You guys obviously probably know in India, web development, app development, all that stuff. There's multiple companies and competitors who are doing the same thing. So trying to penetrate that market is a little difficult. You have to have something that's completely different. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a saturated market where everyone is doing the same thing, and you have to just compete on pricing. For example, also the transportation business, right? If you're transporting, if you're doing dry goods, if you're just doing 53-foot trailers, it's nothing special. You're not transporting oil. You're not transporting reefer products. Even reefer is very saturated, right? So if you're just doing dry bulk, dry goods, there's a lot of competition. So penetrating that market's a little difficult. Now, the industry that I work in, we manufacture heavy equipment, compaction equipment. In the condo sector of our industry, we only had 3 competitors. One of our competitors dropped out. So there's only 2 people in the industry who are doing this. Okay, so if someone wanted to penetrate the market, it would be easier for them if they wanted to get into my industry, because there's such few players. they can come in and they can start doing things differently. They can start pricing differently. Price is just one aspect of it. They can start building products that are superior to my product because we're using technology and stuff that was, steel and all that stuff that is a little outdated, right? We try to cut corners, this and that, to try and make more money. If someone comes in and just offers a superior product, then, or even if they offer the same product that we do, exactly the same product, we do exact same pricing. Sometimes, there's customers out there who didn't like our service. They're just going to go with somebody else, right? So that's what market penetration basically is. Okay, another way that so strategy number 2 is product development, right? This is how you basically go global. Refers to all the stages involved in bringing your product from concept or idea through market release and beyond. Okay, so product development is basically from, let's just say you had an idea. Hey, I have an idea to build some new tires for a car. Okay, from every single stage from that idea to actually building that product and selling that product, that's product development. Okay, so entire journey includes identifying a market need, right? Say, hey, you know what? There's people out here who need really, really good tires for a very low cost. Conceptualize and design the product. Okay, let's design this product so it's extremely low cost, but it's very, very effective. Building the product roadmap. Okay, so this is what we got to do in order to build this product, right? You build a whole roadmap. This is stage 1, step 2, step 3. Developing a minimum viable product, right? So you have to develop something that, like a prototype, right? Releasing the prototype to users so users can play with it, function, and all that stuff. And then getting feedback from users and fixing the product, right? So that's basically it. Strategy number 3, market development. A growth strategy that identifies and develops new market segments for current products. A market development strategy targets non-buying customers in currently targeted markets. It also targets new customers in new segments. So market development, basically you're really just trying to build your market, right? So now you got the tires. Okay, now who are you going to be aiming for? Really, anyone who has a car. If you have a tire that is as good as the Michelin, whatever, what are they called? The Blizzaks or Bridgestone, X-Ice, whatever they are, I don't know. The Pirellis. If you have something that's that quality for a much cheaper price, really anyone who drives a car is your market. So you got to start developing that market, right? You have to figure out who's not a buyer and who is a buyer. And then obviously at the end, diversification, right? You need to have so diversification is a corporate strategy to enter new product or product lines, new services, new markets involving substantially different skills, technologies, and knowledge. Okay, guys, this is very simple. Diversification basically is you're just diversifying your portfolio. So like, let's say you're investing, right? You never want to put all your money into one stock. You want to put some of your money into, let's just say, banks. Then you want to put some of your money into energy stocks. Then you want to put some of your money into oil stocks, some of them into wheat stocks, some of the money. So that way you have a diversified portfolio, and that portfolio grows. So like, let's just say, the coronavirus hit, right? And you had all your money in airlines and cruise line stocks. You just lost all your money because they took the biggest hit. Now, if you had banks, you had tech, you had energy, you had oil, you had all that stuff. Yes, everything did take a hit, but majority of those things are coming right back up. Now, airlines and cruise lines aren't coming back up as much. So if you had a diversified profile, if you had healthcare in your portfolio, like medicinal companies, pharmaceutical companies, right? You would have made a lot of money. Amazon, if you had Amazon, you would have made money. If you had Tesla, you would have made money, right? So that's what diversification is. Okay, so different diversification strategies, right? So there's horizontal versus vertical diversification. So horizontal diversification, for example, if you're a toothpaste manufacturer, right? You're just manufacturing toothpaste, and you see, you know what? Why don't we also start making toothbrushes? right? So then you have toothpaste and toothbrushes that you can sell, right? Now vertical, so see how it's like on the same line. So like you go into a store, okay, now you have Colgate toothpaste plus you have Colgate toothbrush, and you get that's what you get sold. That's horizontal. Now vertical is different. So a supplier of cell phone parts, okay, let's just say you're supplying the Gorilla Glass for a phone, right? You're supplying Gorilla Glass, you're supplying the batteries, you're supplying the speaker systems, all the little parts of a phone, right? But not the entire phone itself. And then you think, you know what, maybe why don't we just start making phones? Why don't we buy one of the cell phone companies that we're supplying to? So you're the supplier. Now you also have the cell phone company. So whatever you're supplying to, you purchase that. That's called vertically alignment. Okay. So how companies in global industries achieve competitive advantage? Okay. So if you're in a global industry and you want, so basically if you're a company that is global, so you're in different countries, not just one country, you're in different countries. How do you achieve competitive advantage? So these are just a few ways, right? So you scour emerging markets, right? So you look for emerging markets, like what here. So basically international companies based in mature economies can use their relationships in emerging markets to speed along innovation, right? Whether a company chooses to bring new products from emerging economies into mature ones or is taking current offerings into a developing country, emerging markets are ripe with opportunity. So any market, so let's say that Canada is getting really big into technology, right? They're really trying to build their technology infrastructure and all that stuff. So companies like India and China, who are heavily based in technology because they have so much tech background, so many people doing tech, that they would try and sell their products into Canada, right? So they're looking for, hey, you know what? Who's growing right now? Who needs what we have? Oh, they do. Okay, let's go get them. Okay. Perform strategic partnerships. It's very easy, right, guys? For example, right? What companies can do is they can partner with companies that are already existing in that industry. So India could probably partner with a tech consultant here in Canada, right? India or China, whoever is there, they can partner with a tech consultant, saying, hey, listen, I know you're really big here in Canada. Why don't we lower your costs by building your websites for you, right? So they're trying to form a strategic partnership, saying, okay, now we're trying to get into Canada, right? All we have to do is use this person who already has a bunch of clients and a big following in Canada. Why don't we go do it for him for much cheaper than what he's doing it for? So it makes him more money. So if he's charging $10,000 for a website and India get it done for $3,000, then he just makes $7,000 extra on top of what he's going to make. So innovate everywhere. Innovation should be part of every aspect of business. So always be looking for ways to make new products in order to meet customer needs, or if there's a need in the market, always be innovating. Okay, so those are just three main ways that companies can achieve competitive advantage in a global market. Okay, single country marketing strategy, right? This is very simple, straight to the point, right? Companies using a single market strategy focus on just one segment within the market. The segment can be defined geographically or demographically. So geographically means, like, you obviously know what geographically means. It is a part of like a region or a place or something. And demographically is like, if you're selling to just males, selling to just females, selling to just children, right? For instance, a local brew pub would be an example of a brewer targeting a single geographically defined market segment. So you have a local brew pub. Let's just say you have a local brewery just down the street from you. They're going to be trying to target the locals, right? They want the locals to drink their stuff because it's local, right? You got Ajax, or you got Brampton beer, you got Mississauga malt, whatever it is, right? You got stuff like that. So people are like, oh, this is brewed within our city and all that. So that's what their marketing strategy is going to be for just for locally, right? Global marketing strategy is obviously a lot different. Its strategy encompasses countries from several different regions in the world and aims at coordinating a company's marketing efforts in marketing in these countries. So, for example, Walmart, Toyota, literally Tesla, all the car companies, right? All the cell phone companies, Apple, Samsung. These are all these guys have global marketing strategies. So let's look at some of the world's 500 global companies. So the world's 500 largest companies generated $33.3 trillion in revenue and $2.1 trillion in profits in 2019. Together, this year's Fortune 500 global 500 companies employ 69.9 million people worldwide and are represented by 32 countries. So the top 10 include some companies you might know, some companies you might not. So Walmart, Sinopec Group, State Grid, China National Petroleum, Royal Dutch Shell, Saudi Aramco, Volkswagen, Boston Petroleum, Amazon.com, Toyota Motor. So if you see a lot of here, Walmart first is obviously Walmart, Amazon are kind of the same. They sell a bunch of variety of goods. Then you see a lot of petroleum, right? You see China National Petroleum, Royal Dutch Shell, Saudi Aramco, Boston Petroleum. These are all gasoline oil companies, right? Which have a ton of money. And then you have Toyota Motor and you have Volkswagen, big car manufacturers. And those guys are all over the world, right? Saudi Aramco sells oil to all over the world. Toyota is all over the world. Volkswagen owns Porsche. I believe they own Porsche, Lamborghini, Audi, Volkswagen. I believe they own Bentley too. I might be wrong. I don't know if Bentley owns Volkswagen, but they own a bunch of different companies. I think they own Bugatti as well too. Okay, so ethnocentrism versus polycentrism versus geocentrism. Guys, don't get too worried about these words. They're just big words for very small meanings. Okay, so ethnocentrism is based on preference for employees from the company's home country. So if you're ethnocentric, then you're only looking at things that are good for your company from a country standpoint, your home country standpoint. Okay, and then polycentrism based on preferences for host country nationals. You don't have to worry too much about that. Geocentrism based on preference for those best suited to the job wherever they are from. Okay, so very easy, right? So you're looking at ethnocentrism is basically, don't worry too much about polycentrism. That's not too important. We're really going to focus on ethnocentrism and geocentrism, right? So ethno is you're just working on focusing on your own country, and geocentrism you're focusing on multiple countries. Okay, so global integration and local responsiveness. So global integration is a degree to which a company can use the same products and methods in other countries. Local responsiveness is the degree to which a company must customize their products and methods to meet conditions in other countries. Okay, so global integration is Amazon says, you know what, our warehouse in the U.S. is working perfectly. Our marketing plan is working perfectly. We got drivers we're picking up, dropping next day, same day, 2-day delivery, Prime Video, all that stuff is working so well in North America. Let's do the exact same thing in Canada. So we'll open up warehouses in Canada. We'll start doing the exact same business model here. Okay, that's global integration. Local responsiveness is if Amazon wanted to open up in, I don't know, for example, let's say Japan. Japan has a culture that's very different than North America. So they would have to make sure that they do things and they have things in place that meets the culture in Japan. Okay, so that's the local responsiveness of that's basically what local responsiveness covers. All right. So that's basically the end of this week 1 slides. Guys, at the end of every class, before the end of every class, I'll be asking questions. Those questions need to be answered They're going to be posted on Google Classroom. They need to be answered in order for you guys to get participation and attendance marks. Okay, it'll be after every class. Make sure you get them done. Some classes will not have it. If you have an assignment or a quiz due during the class, I won't post. I'll only post the slides. You have to watch the slides. We'll talk about the slides, and then we're going to get into the quiz or the assignment, okay? Next week there's an assignment due, I'm pretty sure. We'll talk about that more on the live. All right, guys? Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.